Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren with LA Florals, and I am the owner and artist behind my own stationery brand. And I thought today I would show you guys how I'm going to be doing some very quick watercolors in my Tiny Grids planner. This planner is undated, and for me this year it is serving as essentially like a big to-do list or task management book. And I have, because it is undated, I have gone through and just added the numbers for the day. Just for this upcoming week. And just a few things that I need to get done for this big event. My mom is having a craft show, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, you may not know, but my mom owns her own small business called By Grace Apothecary, where she hand makes and formulates and does all of these things for like whipped body butters, whipped tallows, lip balms, soaps. She's even getting into makeup in 2026. She has her own skincare line that has completely saved my skin from chronic acne. Anyway, so she has a craft show at an event, so I just had a few things that I needed to do leading up to that day. I'm going to go ahead and pick some colors while I tell you about the paint I'm using. I am going to be using this Grabby Travel watercolor pan. I really love this palette. It has tons of different colors. Let me see. These are the sticker sheets I'm going to use when I do my setup. So I have some browns, some purples with the with the headers, some greens. I think I might just stick with this one maybe, and maybe that yellow. I think this one would fit maybe a little bit better, but I don't think I want to go like for a fall vibe. I think I want to stick with more of like a spring vibe. So I'm going to go with these two, and I'm just going to put that here. But yeah, this is the Grabby watercolor travel packet or travel palette. They are not sponsoring this video or anything, but they did kindly gift this to me a while ago. And I do genuinely love the colors and the palette and everything. Like, I really, really like it. I do not have an affiliate link or anything at this moment, so I will go ahead and tag this down below. It's not an affiliate link or anything. I have a little eraser dot in there. There we go. But yeah, it was just gifted. I don't have an affiliate yet. So for our first one, I'm going to go ahead and get this green processing. I want to activate the pigments. I'm going to get this dark pink, this light pink, and this palette does come with a travel brush in there, but for me, I do prefer having just regular brush. This is how I learned how to paint, so for me, this is actually easier. And let's do this periwinkle and this purple. Okay, now for these watercolors, it's going to be something super easy that anybody can do. So for example, I'm going to pick up this green, and let's say I want it, this is going to kind of get all over the place because I tilt my page so much when I paint. But for this one, I am just going to do a line like that, like a little squiggle line. And then I'm going to dip my brush again so it's super pigmented. And I'm just going to do some lines. And every once in a while I might add like a little offshoot, which is going to have some smaller leaves. But it's just like two little parentheses together for the bigger leaves. It's really not anything big or crazy. Might go ahead and dip again, and I'll do another little offshoot here, maybe one there, maybe a little one down here. And for these little ones, I'm literally just stamping my brush. Your brush can be any size. This is a number 6 pointed round that is very, very old and frayed. I'm pretty sure my cat chewed on it, so it's definitely lost its shape over the years, but it's still one of my favorites. and then another little one. And I'm okay if they overlap, that kind of thing. I'm just being really fast and messy with it. And then maybe as we get to the bottom, they kind of spread out a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that, so that's good there. Clean my brush. Okay, and for our next watercolor doodle, I'm going to grab this lighter purple. It's truly like a pale lavender. Let's see, I'll do this one maybe like here. And I'm just going to do some dots, kind of leading to a point. So that's kind of like a really long and skinny triangle. And I'm gonna leave that for now, but I am gonna go back into our green and pick up just a little bit. And I'm gonna make a little stem. And then maybe just a really quick leaf. Just mimicking the same leaves we did over here. So I'm gonna leave that for just a second while that purple dries. And I do have a paper towel over here on the side as well. And then I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna grab this light pink that we have. And I'll do it maybe, I'll do it up top like a border, actually. Sorry, I said this was gonna be a little crazy on my page. But yeah, I'm just gonna do splotches, literally just splotches. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you want a little bit more structure. And if you don't, you can literally just wing it. To me, I think that winging it maybe looks a little bit more organic because this, you can tell, like it almost looks like a straight across view, like it's looking straight into the camera. And this one, maybe this petal is kind of like pushed up a little bit. So for me, I like the messy look because it kind of achieves dimension without trying. And I like that. Okay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making my own washi strip just out of paint. So more squiggles, more squiggles, some more, and a few more. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second because if I were to go in and add more wet paint to this, it would bloom and spread, but that's not quite my goal. My goal is that I would want to go in and add some dimension when it's dry. I'm not wanting a wet on wet method. When you do the wet on wet, that's when you see like when it blends and blooms together and mixes, and that's not quite the look I'm wanting. So I'm gonna let that dry. And for our number 4 doodle, I want to make a cute little strawberry. I'm going for like a very springy theme. And let's see. I'll do that down here. So I'm just going to do kind of like a little heart a little bit. That was kind of a lot of pigment. I kind of feel like I maybe used too much. So I'm just going to rip off a piece of my paper towel and just kind of lift some of that color up. Take a smidge of a wet brush and just kind of re-blend it so you can't see those lines. Okay, cool. All right, I feel better about that. I just felt like I had done a little too much. And I'm gonna go back in with our green and just, here's the wet on wet effect kind of that I want to show you. Like it kind of gets messy in pools. So I'm gonna leave that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let this air dry and I will come back when it's dry. Okay, it is a few minutes later. We have a bit more that has dried, so I thought I would go in and add our depth to our little lavender. And I'm just dotting this along, not completely. I still want to show the lighter purple, but just enough. And then, let's see. This still has a smidge of wet, but that's okay. Now I'm going to go in. I have a hair stuck to my arm. Get away. Okay. I'm going to add kind of like this seafoam green. And I'm just going to add some dots. Maybe a smidge of like little greenery. Just make it a little bit more interesting up here. Just fill it out just a little bit. And I'm being really messy and fast with it. This isn't anything that I'm taking a lot of time with. And one more. Okay. So now while that dries, oops, I can start lining some of my paint. So for these, I'm going to be using the Grabby erasable gel pens. And again, these were gifted to me in the same package with the paints. But I don't have an affiliate yet at this moment. But I will link these down below. I'm going to go in with a dark green. And my advice for kind of lining over watercolor would be to pick something that's really juicy. As weird as that sounds. Like, I love my Sarasa, but I think the tip would get gelled up with like the watercolor pigment on the page, and then it would skip, and yeah. So you want to pick something that has a little bit more, you know, it's a bit more like wet when it goes on. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing we did before. And then for the leaves, I'm just being really messy with it. I'm not being any sort of particular about matching the paint to the outline. And we had some there. And I might even add like a little circle within, kind of like that, just to get some more variation. And then we had another branch. And this, I think, serves as like a really nice base. Like, you could put stickers on over this and it would be so cute. I've been doing these types of like little watercolor doodles in my planner since 2024 when I got my first Hobonichi cousin. But then I started, before that, I was even like painting in my bullet journals and stuff. And I would say that started in like 2022, maybe? Something like that. Okay, so there is our greenery. I really like how that turned out. I'm not going to cover over this because it definitely still has wet, and if you use wet watercolor with a pen, it just does not turn out very well. So on our dry stem, I'm going to go through and add, and I'm just being really scribbly with it. I even added like a little drop shadow. And down here for our strawberry. So this was the wet on wet. Oh gosh, that was still a little, oopsie, I took some paint. But this does still have that wet on wet effect. Like, see how there's green even down here? That's because I went in with 2 wet paints, whereas this is next to like wet paint next to dry paint. So those are the 2 different watercolor styles. The wet spot was right here, so I think that might be safe for me to just add to the top. I'm going to close up my green for now. I'm going to go in with a pink. And I'm going to add some lines, maybe some hearts for inside our strawberry. This definitely isn't my favorite strawberry I've ever done, but it's okay. Maybe to salvage, I'll add some sprinkles and just some like little accents. Okay. Now for up here, most of our flowers are dry. It looks like I have 2 or 3 that are not quite dry. So honestly, I'm going to cheat and just dab away the wet paint so it'll dry even faster. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait. Okay. I'm going to leave actually this right here. I'm not going to outline it or anything. I like the way it looks just, you know, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with this. And here I'm just going to add a smidge of detailing. It's hard to talk and like doodle at the same time sometimes. And see how I kind of tilted this flower here? So because we had kind of like a flat petal right there, I just kind of accented it a little bit more. Just to kind of show that maybe the flower was a little tilted and not the exact same for every single one. So this was the wet flower, and it's dry enough for me to get some decent in there, some decent lines. Maybe that one's kind of going off the page a little bit. And then same thing, maybe this one's a little twisted, so I'll make this one the flat one, and then another long petal. I'm literally just being very loose with this. There's no rhyme or reason, really. Okay. This one kind of has a petal way down here, so I might try to bring that back up a little bit. And our last one. Okay. Alrighty. I think that looks pretty good. And yeah, I feel pretty happy with that. So that's 4 ways that you can easily watercolor in your planner. I literally did this in just a few minutes, and I think it would have gone even faster if I wouldn't have been obviously like talking through all of my steps. But I think this is a great way to add some creativity to your planner. I mean, here's an example of like, I didn't do any watercolor this day, but I still feel proud of it. You don't have to paint every single day in your planner to have a creative practice. Like, that's silly. You can just do it when it feels right for you. And I just thought a fun few doodles, because I have these more like springy sheets for this week and like this month. I thought this might be kind of fun to do, but I hope this helped, and please feel free to subscribe if you like this video. I am posting lots of fun tutorials and planner DIYs, so yeah, feel free to subscribe. That would really help me out a lot, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.